Dr. Emmanuel Officer with a word for life. And as usual, what does the Bible say? Today I want to talk to you about the power of prayer. Listen, there was a man who had issues with eating lots of donuts. He would eat 5, 6 donuts at one shot. So he prayed, God, can you help get me off these donuts? And God answered his prayer. He even lost weight for a little while. One day he showed up at work with a donut in his hand, and his coworker said, Hey, didn't you say you were going to leave those donuts alone? He said, Yes, but this morning before I left, I prayed to God that if there was a parking spot in front of that donut shop, that's a sign that I could get me a donut. And after I went around the block 11 times, there was a parking spot. That's a joke, but we're talking about this morning the power of prayer. Did you know that the power of prayer is the believer's most powerful weapon? Did you know your prayers are more powerful than an atomic bomb? Whole nations have come down over the power of prayer. Whole cities have been conquered through the power of prayer. Prayer is the key. Faith will unlock the door. All you have to do is believe it. In the book of Isaiah, it says, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of God will lift up a standard. When the storms of life come rushing in on you like a mighty wind, just keep on praying. The book of Luke said men should always pray and never faint. There are three types of prayers that we can pray. There's a prayer that goes up that you don't believe, and it comes right back down off the ceiling, and those prayers collect in the corner in your room. Second prayer is a prayer that you pray you do believe, and the prayer goes up, and it goes through the ceiling, it hits the rock, but the phone rings, the doorbell rings. You're thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner. You're thinking about what you're going to wear to church tomorrow. Sometimes your mind wanders all the way into next week, bills you got to pay and things you got to do. Then there's the third prayer. That prayer goes through the ceiling, through the rock, through the fire, and it becomes an angelic messenger. And it lands on the throne of God. But now you got to keep praying because you got the portal of prayer open up between you and God. And you got to keep praying because you remember in the book of Daniel, the angel said, Daniel, from the day one you prayed, we got your prayer. But it took us 21 days because the angel said, I was withstood by the prince of Persia. See, you remember when they were building the wall, they ate on the wall, they fought on the wall, and they prayed on the wall. See, it's the power of prayer we as believers have to use because we're living in a new time. You know they say the new you? Well, we're living somewhere we've never been before. Just look out your door. And it's going to take the power of prayer because you cannot fight spiritual weapons with natural weapons. You need spiritual to fight spiritual. Jesus is coming real soon. And we all better get ready. His coming is at the door. And the Bible says every eye shall see and every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. The question is, will you be ready when that time comes? I'm Dr. Emmanuel Officer, and this has been A Word for Life. And my question is, what does the Bible say?